right, perfect. All right. So, beautiful people, it's your boy Jonesy, the Love Coach, and this is episode 2 of Smoothie Talk. And I got my guy, my friend,
yes, sir,
founder of Foundations,
yes, sir,
TJ in the building.
in the building, baby.
How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I mean, you looking different. What happened?
So, long story short, I ended up tearing my patella tendon on a box jump in the gym. So it was interesting.
So, what's the patella tendon? What did that connect?
Essentially, what it does is it helps you bend your knee.
Oh, okay.
So without it, there's no back and forth and extension, and your patella tendon does extension, which is what I'm in now, and flexion, which is bringing the knee back to it. And so without that, it'll flex, but it won't extend, and it extend, and it won't flex. So,
well, hopefully you have a speedy recovery.
Thank you.
When are you gonna be able to? I think I seen some on your page. It was like some days until bending the knee.
Yeah, so it's 9 more days until I get 15 degrees of knee flexion. So getting knee flexion. So I can't wait, bro. I've been having my knee locked in perfect extension since September 8th.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for it.
Yeah. Man, tell us about Foundations. Like if y'all really kind of check out his page, if you see his personal page, you'll see him doing some crazy stuff like a backflip into push-ups. For real. So it wasn't no backflip into push-ups.
No, it wasn't none of that, man. I was actually taking it easy. So I heard it doing on a box jump. So it was 50 inches. That's high, but I'm kind of like that. I'm like that. And so 50 is kind of easy for me.
Yeah, I feel that.
But I guess, a little bit older in age, extra weight, try to get up there. God said, not today.
Okay. Again, so we got to watch the bodies. We got to take care of them. Since this is Smoothie Talk, and we do talk about psychedelics and awareness of psychedelics, tell me about your first trip.
So let's see. The first trip I ever had, man, I was actually I know it doesn't look like it, but I used to be, I'm pretty creative.
Yeah.
And I jumped into a punk rock band back in the day.
I remember.
Which we were actually really good. We ended up almost winning the Buzz Battle of the Bands, which that's the biggest competition in Oklahoma in terms of rock bands go. I was in 2005. Just to give you some perspective, in 2004, the All-American Rejects won, and that's why they got famous. So, So in 2005, I jumped into this band and just started doing stuff I've never done before.
Yeah,
seeing things I've never seen before. And, in typical punk rock fashion, somebody, hey, man, let's go get some shrooms, bro. And I'm like, yeah, man, black people don't do shrooms. But, I'm in the building. Why not? I jumped in and I ate 3 grams my first trip. Absolutely hated my life, man. It was terrible the first time I did it.
That's a heavy dose.
Man. Yeah, it was too much. Way too much. I started tripping, hallucinating. I was seeing all type of crazy things. So it was interesting. My very first time.
How old were you when you did that?
I was 16. No, I was maybe I was 18, like 17, 18 around there.
Yeah, that's too young to be really playing with the shroomies like that.
Yeah, for sure. I was way too young.
Yeah. So are you ever gonna do a walk?
Yeah. For
okay.
Sure. So I'm definitely open to it now. I've done my research. I've done psychedelics since then.
Yeah.
And it's been one of the things that kind of opened me up and helped me to begin to look differently at different possibilities and say, hey, maybe there's something more than what meets the eye. Maybe I can go deeper in terms of, introspection, self-reflection, knowledge, understanding. Maybe there's a deeper level and of understanding that I can garner from this. And so, yeah, man, it was definitely psychedelics that helped me with that for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, bro, I've known you for, I don't know, I want to say something stupid like 15 years. And
something like that.
It feel like, you know what I'm saying, at least that. I mean, we was kids, but it's like, watching your life, it's like you got a testimony, you know what I'm saying? And I done seen you at times where, you know what I'm saying, you didn't have nothing. And now to look at you and look at your business is just incredible. And so I know recently I've been kind of addressing some of my own issues in my life. So, I started a business, I started this podcast because ultimately I told myself I'm full of shit.
Yeah.
Like, stop making excuses.
Yeah. And you have to, right? Like it comes down to it. You gotta look. You gotta get on your job. You know what I mean? As people, as as men, women, people in general, we all have things we want to do out here, and we all have, we have our dreams, and then we have our responsibilities.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of people kind of tend to think that those things aren't synonymous.
Yeah.
They tend to think either or. I think they go together. I think it's both. You know what I mean? I think it's the things that make you, the stuff that drive you, your goals and dreams and hopes, and your responsibilities. I think they should merge together, and it should that responsibility should make you go after your dreams even harder.
Yeah, hey, you spitting, because I'm telling you, my 14-year-old and my 15-year-old, like, that is the biggest thing that I try to push to them is responsibilities.
Sure.
And then actually getting a community around to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
I get to talk about responsibilities, and they're like, well, you should be nicer to them. What? Do you hear the things that they say about me?
Yeah.
Like, it be whispers in my house.
Yeah,
I could hear them talking like, Daddy's crazy.
That's
And you want me to be nice? Why I got to do all the changing? I want them to, but I really want them to understand, like, how important responsibilities are. And right now, their only responsibilities are schoolwork and chores.
Yeah.
That's your currency. That's what pays you. Otherwise, you're not bringing anything into the house. I'm just paying for everything. And so, I think that's something that's learned or not learned at a very young age.
For sure. And I mean, again, it's unfortunately and I can't speak for everybody else, but I'm Black, so for our culture, we just kind of have some interesting ways to think about topics, and some of it is good, but I also think some of it hinders us.
Yeah.
Some of it robs us of our power and our ability to be great. So.
Yeah. Nah, definitely. And I mean, what do you say to? I mean, is that a good excuse?
Never. I mean, there's never a good excuse.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's what you're supposed to be doing, and then there's everything else.
Yeah.
And I mean, it all comes down to, like, what do you want?
Right.
Like what are you going after? What's your reason? Right? Like, so many of us, and I get it, like, we're all in the world, right? So I don't want to bag on people.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely what I don't want to do. But I also want to challenge people. I've realized over the years, as I grow older, that the more authentic I become, the more I challenge people. You know what I mean? And the more I challenge myself, I don't want you to take it easy on me.
Yeah.
Like, you see me out here slacking, and you say you love me.
Yeah.
You don't watch me slack. You don't love me like you say you love me.
Ooh.
It's just you got lip service going on. Like,
that's lip service.
Keep me in check. Keep me in tow. Right. So it's like at the end of the day, you have what you want, what you're supposed to be doing. Like I said, and everything else. And I think there's always reasons to not do something.
Yeah.
Right. Like, when I started Foundations, I didn't have everything right. I didn't have the perfect business plan. I didn't have all the equipment. I didn't have everything that I needed, but I had grind. I had hustle.
Yeah.
I got heart, and that's all I need. Like, I know what I want, and I know where I want it to go. And I saw what I was doing and the results that I was getting.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. And if I want something different, then I'm gonna have to be different. So even if, I can make all the excuses in the world I wanted to, I'm still gonna keep getting what I was getting.
What you was getting.
I had to change it. You can tell yourself whatever, but if you don't like the results you're getting, what you're doing right now is the reason why you have the results. 1 + 1 = 2. If you want to change the 2, change the formula in the beginning to change the number at the end.
Expecting different results from doing the same shit.
Yeah.
Like, that has been the thorn in my side. You know what I'm saying?
True.
I'm a very bright individual, and I've always had a vision, and I've always had the ability to, be a philosopher. But at this point in my life, at 37, it's gotten me nothing. Like, I built relationships,
for sure.
but I want some money.
Yeah.
And
100%.
I need materials, to leave something for my children and to, build my kingdom.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've made a lot of excuses in my life as to why.
Yeah.
And when you get fed up with yourself, you be like, oh boy, you bullshit.
Yeah, 100%.
You bullshit.
100%. When you like, you can't like, don't. I tell people all the time, like this is something that I say a lot. Like, don't lie to yourself. You can lie to other people. That's cool if that's what you want to do, but don't lie to you because you have to reap the consequences that you face. So don't lie to yourself.
Hey, I was big time lying.
Yeah, keep it real with yourself. You know what I mean?
So when did that change for you? Because I mean, share some of your testimony up until the point that's gotten you here. Like, when did TJ stop lying to himself? Yeah. And because I mean, it's just so amazing to like be next to you and be your brother and be able to see your growth in your life. So talk about some of the things that you've dealt with or that you've battled. Yeah,
for sure. So I mean, definitely, you know, I can just start from the high school days because that's just, you know, the most relevant. Definitely tricked off high school. Killer in F sports. Just, I mean, if you go to everybody go to my page, you'll see what I'm talking about. But just, you know, I mean, I was just a crazy athlete, but my mind was somewhere else. I didn't want to be an athlete. I mean, I wanted to be like my older brother. My older brother gangbang. So
I don't know, what was his name? Saran. Hey, I remember the stories.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just like, you know, I wanted to be like my older brother. That's what I wanted to do. And that's what was influencing me at the time. So, you know, just that's, you know, I did all the things I was supposed to do, right? All the things that people respect now, everything that's supposed to make you solid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not snitch, put in work, you know what I mean? Getting locked up, going to jail, just left and right, you know what I mean? Especially 2008, 2009. I went to jail in 2008. I think I went to jail 9 times.
Yeah.
2009, I know I went at least 9 times.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, just all the stuff people supposed to respect that make you real and make you all of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing all that. And I got respect, but my life is terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just real bad. So ended up in June 4th, man, which was on my birthday. My birthday is June 4th. Man, I lost my girl, my car, my job, my house, everything I owned in 2 hours.
Dang.
All in 2 hours, man. And just leading up to that, you know, that the house was the trap. I ain't gonna say where it's at, but the house was the trap. So I mean, I'm out there hustling, doing what I, you know what I mean, doing whatever I'm doing. And the feds is kicking in the door a lot, right? Yeah. I can remember that time being in the house. Matter of fact, you was there.
I was there one time when they came in.
Yeah, like I'm getting
guns ablazing.
Yeah, I'm getting a haircut. My man faded me up, and I hear boom. I'm like, here we go. You know what I mean? So just that was just kind of like the way of life. It kept happening. But again, on June 4th, which is my birthday, I lost everything that I owned.
Yeah.
But instead of getting mad, I didn't shed any tears or nothing. I looked up in the sky and said, okay, God, you got me. The joke's on me. What you want me to do? You clearly want something from me because you took everything I own in 2 hours. So I ended up going to church and People's Church, ended up getting plugged in with that church for a while. And it helped me to kind of open up my mind to see things in a different way and start a process of healing and growing and changing. And that worked for a while until it didn't.
Yeah.
And all the old feelings that I had and all the old stuff that I wanted to do, it all came right back. And I started kind of dabbling in some of those things again.
Yeah.
And just kind of getting back, kind of going backwards. But I would say, honestly, man, that when I really came into just this true change, I'd have to say it was at the beginning, honestly, of 2022.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, where I just, you know, I had just started Foundations. Foundations was a year old, maybe a little bit older than a year, and it had taken off. I mean, within the first 3 months, I had over 100 people. Like it went crazy. Not 3 months, 6 months. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
6 months, y'all. 6 months.
6 months.
But I had over 100 people. It just blew up. You know what I mean? And I mean, I'm having the success that you want to have, which I was grateful for. But my personal life was just still, you know, just kind of in shambles. I'm just, you know, I hate to say it, but out there playing with women a little bit. Just, you know what I mean? Doing what I do. It is what it is. We all been there. So. But I looked in the mirror one day and said, you know what? Like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of feeling like this.
Yeah.
Like, I can't keep doing this. And I've always been, I mean, as you know, an avid studier, avid reader. I'm very much the philosopher as well. Like, that's just how I get down. Very deep thinker, really intelligent. And so I looked at myself like, man, who you fooling, bro? Like, that dude you used to be, you're not that guy no more. You don't even respect that no more.
Yeah.
Like, that's not even. you have children now. Like you don't respect none of that no more. You don't even want to do that. So like, be true to you. Like you have to start being a little bit more true to yourself. And that's what I mean. At January 2022, I just decided, you know what, like the women thing, I'm done with. Like, I'm gonna throw the women thing aside. Like I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm just gonna put my head in these books. I'm gonna start trying to figure out like why I think the way that I think and why I do the things that I do. Because again, if you know me, I mean, I study various topics, 2 or 3 hours a day, every day, for absolutely no reason. It's just a part of my personality. I don't even know why I do it.
Yeah.
But so I said, let's start figuring out what makes you you. Like, why are you doing the things that you're doing? Because you have success, but you're unhappy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you're unhappy because you don't know who you are. You don't know what you're doing. And so that's when I began to kind of do a little bit more in meditation, which opened me up to microdosing. Microdosing shrooms and stuff like that. And so when I started taking that, man, I things began to like just kind of click. They made sense. When I started microdosing, the anxiety and depression and the stress that I felt started to go away. And I realized, man, I've always been okay.
You've always been okay.
I've always been okay. I've always been straight, but I've always had a lot of outside noise influencing what I saw. But when I took a step back and realized, I'm sitting down. Yeah. And I say this all the time too. I'm sitting down wherever I'm at. Like I am where my feet are. Yeah. Right. So I can just use the example. I'm right now we're shooting this podcast, but I'm in the middle of Oklahoma City. Yeah. Shooting a podcast. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? In Oklahoma, which is surrounded by Colorado, Texas, which is a part of the United States, which is a part of, and I just kept bringing that view back. Yeah. I mean, that view back, pushing that view backwards. And I realized I'm pretty safe. Yeah. And when I look at it like that, there's a few things in my life that I'm unhappy with. Yeah. But overall, my life is pretty good. I don't really have the problems that I thought that I had. A lot of this is smoke and mirrors. You know what I mean? And
it's a challenge to get out of them smoke and mirrors like you in a fun house. Sometimes you run into the glass,
Yeah, for sure. But it's a part of it though.
No, right? It's a part of the experience. Because when you figure it out, you feel uber successful 100%. Once you get up out of there, like 100%. And while you're in there, you see other people running into the mirrors too, and it's like we're all a part of it.
100%. And you start to look at people and realize like your empathy and compassion levels go through the roof because you realize, oh man, you just ain't awake yet. You don't even really know what's going on yet. Like I can't even some of the things that like. That you're certain behaviors or certain tendencies that people have, they just if they were to really, they don't feel safe. I realize most people in this world just don't feel safe.
I can agree with that.
Self-preservation makes us do a lot of things. It's all in the need of survival. So a lot of people don't know this. Your brain is wired to do 3 things: survive, thrive, and conserve calories. Yeah. So if you're not thinking about living, you're thinking about thriving and conserving energy, right? And so, but most of us, we just never get past this,
get out of survival mode.
It's just we everybody wants, we see these things that we feel like we can't live without. Yeah. And because we feel like we can't live without them, we do all these things to get these things, putting ourselves in worse positions, living beneath, above our means, and just trying to keep up with the Joneses, what I mean, stuff like that. And so but when you break that down, it's just all in need to feel safe and secure, man. We all want to feel like safe and like we're a part of something that what we do matters.
That's one of the reasons why I do the guided psychedelic experiences, because a lot of people, they don't realize that they are okay. And then they don't get enough love to know any better. You know what I'm saying? They feel like the world is, beating them down and things like that. Sure. So that's one of the reasons why I do the unconditional love, because it ain't a lot out here.
For sure. So I mean, I can say this. I know this is, we having a conversation right now. So what made you? Because I've known you for a while, right? And I've also seen your transformation. Yeah. I've seen your growth.
When I tell you,
Jones taking psychedelics. Byron Jones taking psychedelics is like walking into a library and seeing Mike Tyson sitting there reading about some magnum, you know what I mean? Opus type of deal. You just wouldn't think you would see that. So like what led you to this part?
You are right, because I mean I think I took psychedelics for the first time when I was 36. Okay. But I used to always, watch videos on like DMT trips, and I'm very curious about what happens when we leave here. Yeah. That's always been my big mystery, which was one of the questions that I was going to ask you is, do you think you can outgrow Christianity in terms of like the religion, not the messages? Because I'm going to get back to that because I see you light up. Okay. But that was something that really drove me to psychedelics, was my relationship with God and wanting to know more, and then hearing Jesus spit them bars and read through the book. Sometimes them bars and read didn't line up with whatever else was in the book. And it just drove me to deeper meanings and and the more I started finding out about psychedelics, I said, oh, that's what we on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what we on. This is how you get like that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And so, but that's what led me to psychedelics was just my need to understand myself and my need to love myself, you know what I'm saying? Because long time I was feeling like I wasn't enough, divorced, got 3 kids, and these women running me crazy, you know what I'm saying? But I realized it was nothing, it wasn't their fault. It was really everything that I did. Every decision that I made is what got me the life that I have. And so when I did that, I forgave everyone. I forgave myself. Yeah. And I said, it's lit with the shrooms. We about to put my niggas on.
100%.
But let's go back to the question. Because you were talking about People's Church, and man, I loved your church transformation, and we've had some heated back and forth about 100%. What we think is. But do you ever think that there is a point where you can outgrow the church building and religion and Christianity in that form?
For sure.
Yeah.
So first I can say this subject is something that, I'm very, very passionate about.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I've known this guy for at least 15 years. And there was a point in time where I was so just deep in my faith that it even took us away from each other. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's you know what I mean? Luckily my man is all with the good, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah, lucky you all with the good, because it's just one of those things that, he's with the self-love. But I take my faith very seriously. Yeah. So what I'm about to say, I didn't arrive to this conclusion lightly. It is something that was that came under heavy prayer and just battle tested. I went through a divorce in 2017. Yeah. And that divorce shook me to my core, man. And I ended up just experiencing things that, they're hard to put into words, man. It's even hard to talk about, man. Seeing things that aren't necessarily there, hearing things that you shouldn't be hearing, losing weight. And so all this time I'm reaching out to, now if you read the Bible, these things don't look so foreign, because in the Bible, these things are talked about. Mm-hmm. And so, it's one thing to read them, it's another to experience them. It's a completely different thing to experience them. So as I'm experiencing them, I'm reaching out to those church people. And what I thought would be a welcome reception ended up being something a little bit different. And so it kind of made me take a look and say, okay, am I doing something wrong? Right. What's, naturally I'm not going to blame them first. Right. As a man, I'm gonna look in the mirror first and say, okay, you know what I'm saying? What could you be doing wrong? And, I'm looking, I'm like, man, I'm praying, I'm reading. I mean, this is happening to me, right? Like I didn't ask for this. This is something that's just happening to me. And so as I begin to read more, pray more, and study more, I begin to get different, like a new understanding. Yeah. And I realized that I didn't know God. I believe him, right? I believed he exists. And I think people confuse, I don't want to speak for everyone else,
Right.
but I confused my believing that God exists and believing or trusting in God. Right?
Yeah.
And those two aren't the same. Those two aren't the same things, right? I know how to tie my shoe,
right?
But I believe that I could construct this amazing piece of art. Right
Yeah.
now, could I? If there's a chance that I could,
right?
But there's a chance that I could fail as well.
Yeah.
But I know that I know how to tie my shoe.
For sure.
Right? That's not a question. Right?
Yeah.
I don't have to question that. And so I realized I don't have that with God. I realized my belief in you was topical. I believed
that's deep.
Yeah, I believed in a topical sense, right? And so as I began to pray, I told God, I said, hey, I just realized I don't know you very well, but I've been reading about you all my life.
Yeah.
And I would like to know you. And everything changed from that point, man. And my old level of the way I used to think about Christianity, completely shifted.
Hey, that's deep, because you was like, I've been talking to you my whole life. I've known about you my whole life, but I don't know you very well. What do you think are some characteristics of God? Like, how do you classify God? Like, what do you know about him?
What I know. So for me, right, I can just, for me and my personal experiences. Again, this is the first time I'm ever talking about this, man. So this is a little new for me. But for me, man, God is. I'll put it like this: I have 3 children, just like you do.
Yeah.
London is my oldest. What's up, baby girl? Colby and my son's name is Roman.
Yeah.
Right now, when my daughters came, every father has that relationship with their daughters, right? And so of course I'm that protector, and I want to take care of them and keep them from danger, and really just want to teach them the right way so they know how a man should treat them. But now my son, I got to teach him how to be a man. Yeah, it's a little bit different. Yeah. So I love all of my children the same. Yeah. But there is a relationship that I have with my son that is kind of a little bit more special to me, because I know that he's looking to me for wisdom and guidance. And so what I used to try to do with God before is that the way that I thought about him is like, I always felt like if I sit down just right and pray this way, I felt like I was always trying to get him to feel sorry for me enough to like interact with me and do certain things, right? If I pray a certain type of way, and if I'm nice to X amount of people, and I do this, he'll hear me, right? If I keep my bad deeds down, he'll hear me. Yeah. But as I begin, to interact with God now, this new image began to form in my mind that I can just use it as an analogy with my son. My son don't have to build a relationship with me. Yeah. He already got one. Ooh. It's grandfathered in. Yeah. You know what I mean? We in there. Yeah. And the love for him will never end. He don't got to build a relationship with me. It's already there. Yeah. The only thing he can do is discover how much I love him. Ooh. So he can take that journey. He can take that journey if he wants to, but there's nothing he can do or not do to make me love him more or less. And so, that's the way I began to think about God now is how you created me, you put me here, you gave me Jesus without me asking. You did all of these things for me without me asking. The love is not a question. That's blatant. The only thing I need to see is how deep that love goes. Wow. And as I walk now, that's how I look at it now. And so how I interact with God now is very much, it's like, it's exciting. Like I can't wait to learn about how much he does care for me and how much he does love me. And don't get me wrong, like I don't want to sit here and make it seem like it's just all fairies and rainbows, right? There is discipline, right? Yeah. I'll discipline my son if he needs to. But, I said something in the beginning of this podcast on purpose. Yeah. I said, I guess God had other plans. Yeah. When I hurt my knee. Now that was very purpose. That was I don't believe that. I don't believe that there is no situation that I'm gonna put my son in to injure him to teach him a lesson. Right. It's just not gonna happen. Yeah. Now if he gets injured in the process, that's another thing. Right. But I'm not gonna go injure him. Yeah. To do that. And I know that when you begin to read the Bible, it's like, oh, what about the story of Abraham?
Yeah.
Right? He told him to go kill his son.
Yeah.
And I just, the only thing I would like to challenge people is that for me, I realized what I did was I was a consumer of information.
Yeah.
I consumed a lot of information, but it was secondhand. Most of it was secondhand. It came from what a pastor told me that I went to go verify what he said, not what I thought based on what I read.
Yeah.
And so I begin to get firsthand information.
Have your own.
And I begin to get a very different picture. I'm like, I don't know what book y'all reading.
What?
But when you begin to read it in that way, this prime example, this. Well, I ain't gonna get into that. We'll wait on that. But yeah, just to kind of that's how more so how I interact with God now is that if the best he could ever offer, for in my faith, in the way that I believe, Jesus is the best that he had to offer.
Yeah.
And you gave me him for free.
Yeah.
What will you withhold from me? So I don't think, and for me, I'm like, something is wrong.
Yeah.
Because I don't know this, man. And I feel like I have to jump through hoops just to get you to do something, but you gave me your very best.
Yeah.
Something is off. Something is off. I'm wrong somewhere.
Yeah.
And so I, now I see this love, right? This compassion, this grace, right? And that grace word is
that's a big word.
Yeah, it's a big word. I think it's really kind of slept on because if you look up what it means in the Hebrew, grace means fence.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, what do you mean fence? Like, how could that be grace?
Yeah.
It's a fence around you.
Yeah.
So you can go kind of far, but you're gonna run into a wall.
Yeah.
Right. It keeps you in the confines of a certain area.
Okay.
So he can always see you.
Give you some grace.
He gives you room.
Yeah.
But he ain't gonna let you get too far.
I like that.
Yeah. He's not. So it's now I see that grace and I see him being patient with me.
Yeah.
And there's discipline in there at times, but it's not even really, I can't even really call it discipline. When you read the Bible, there's this thing, especially in Romans 8, it talks about being given over. Right?
Yeah.
We all talk about being given over. And when you look at that, what means in the Greek, because the New Testament was written in Greek, when God gives you over to a depraved mind, that's what it says. It just means, well, here, if you want to go do drugs, I'm just gonna let you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stop you. That's what it means to be given over.
Okay.
It's that I'm just gonna go let you do it. You want to do it? Go do it.
Go do it, and
I'll be
life
here
will teach you.
Yeah, I'll be here when you get back.
Yeah.
So just that's how I experience God now. Just a lot of compassion, a lot of love, a lot of grace, and it actually feels like good news to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the gospel's supposed to say good news, but before, the news wasn't really that good.
Right.
You know what I mean? It sounded good, you know what I mean? But it's just hard to get behind for me. And I wanted to get behind it so long. I devoted my life to it, you know what I mean? And so, it literally, God took me off the streets.
Yeah.
So anything that did that, I'm rocking with you till the wheels fall off. So,
all right. I love it. Yeah. There was something that you had said earlier on where you said, I did everything, solid that would make people in our community think you solid. You didn't put in work and all these different things. Sure. As soon as you said that, the first thing that popped in my mind when you said I did everything solid, I said, being solid don't make you no money. Yeah, it don't.
That's what's so crazy, bro. Like, and it's if you look at that's how I know people in our times, like
we living backwards.
Yeah, we living real backwards, bro. It's like, in our community we have this, man, you better not snitch.
Yeah.
Man, all listen to me. If you are a regular human being, you are a regular person, and somebody breaks into your house and you don't call the police, guess what just been happening? You've been robbed. You've been robbed.
You've been robbed.
You've been robbed. That's what happened. You've been robbed. And if you don't call the pizzles, you ain't getting your stuff back.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Right? Like this no snitching thing, listen to me, man. That is for people who participate in gang culture.
Yeah.
If you are not a gang member and don't wish to be a gang member, you are a regular civilian, you got a 9 to 5, you got a job, you're not out here committing felonies and crimes, Call the police, people.
Call the police.
Call the police, bro. And anybody else who tells you otherwise is a goofy.
Yeah.
Hey, and I hope you don't edit this out.
Like, no.
I hope you don't edit this out. You goofy, bro.
It's gonna be a hot take.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you goofy. It is what it is. And I know you ain't put in no work.
Yeah.
Because anybody who really put in work will never be mad at a civilian for being a civilian. Because that's what they're supposed to be.
That's what they're supposed to be. You're actually supposed to be a better criminal.
Yeah,
so that no one tells you.
Yeah, man. Like, so you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm out here, I'm doing my little thing. I'm getting locked up all the time. And everybody think that I'm real. When I'm locked up, where you at? I don't see you. I don't hear from you. You ain't helped me get out. But when I'm out, TJ home. But when I was in, where was you then, bro?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a game. It's a trick bag. It's like the ultimate trick bag. And it's crazy because it's only in our community.
Yeah.
So what that tell you?
Yeah. What you mean don't tell?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, like it's crazy to me, man. Like, I
tell my daughters all the time, like, if anything were to ever happen, like, now I have my own.
Yeah.
I have my own, like,
100%.
what I might do.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, if something were to happen to them, let's say at the hands of a man, let's say a man put his hands on her or something like that, I'm gonna say, let's go to the police. Yeah. And that's because that's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know, deep down,
100%.
I might do something else.
I mean, so anybody who know me,
I just don't.
Yeah,
I don't want to go to jail.
Facts. I mean,
so I am gonna go.
Yeah.
Tell the laws.
Yeah.
And then a couple years down the line,
if it comes down, if it can, so I'll put it like this, right? Like, people who know me, man, these they work good. Yeah. And I don't have to say nothing about that. That's verified for a couple decades. I've never been scared of anybody. Yeah. Never been scared of anything ever. And like, that's not me.
Yeah.
So if you want it, here, this is my mindset. It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Woo.
And
you gotta stop dropping these bars,
like,
fam.
I'm definitely a warrior.
Say that one more time.
Yes, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
That's facts.
You know what I mean? And so
never heard that before.
Yeah, so it's like, there's no virtue if you don't know how to get out there in that field and put in work as a man and protect, and that's not macho. Like, I'm a man. If you don't know how to get out in that field and put in no work, like, somebody
talk to him like that.
You know what I mean? Somebody coming in to me and mine, you're gonna have to come with it, because I'm prepared to lose my life behind mine.
If you don't know how to protect,
it's like I'm literally prepared to lose my life behind mine. I'm not. Of course, I don't want it to come to that, but like, I don't play about protection. So, that's not, I don't play the games about that, right? Like, if I say I love something, I don't play with that love word. If I love it, I'll give my life for it. And if I give my life for it, I'm a warrior. I know that I'll give it my all. Yeah. And so, if you don't have that, but you also don't protect anything, that's not virtuous, right? They kind of have these things today for men to kind of be more on the docile side and passive side, but there's no virtue in being passive, right? Yeah. You being passive isn't virtuous. That makes you weak.
I'm gonna say something, because you know me with the love coaching and unconditional love. I went through a place where I'm like, everything's pure. Yeah. Everything's holy. Yeah. We don't need no violence. But now what I understand love to be is that even through love, I'll do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Even through love, I'll get jiggy with you.
It's because I love that I will get jiggy. It's because I will get jiggy to protect. Dang. Because I love, you're coming in trying to cause bodily harm to who I love. Yeah. Now, I also care about you. I do. But this is my responsibility. Come on now. And I'm not going to let you take advantage of my responsibility. Yeah. So, now, you can come with it, but I'm telling you, you better come with it.
Yeah, for all the gardeners out there, we do need you. We need vegetables.
For sure.
And
yeah,
fruits,
definitely.
We just don't need you in times of war.
You know what I mean? Like,
don't take it personal.
Yeah, we all have our lane, and and again, I think everybody has that warrior in it. Right. It's just
everyone is capable, and everyone should have it.
Of it for sure. Yeah, and you should be able to control it. It's like learning a martial art. You learn how to smack somebody, but then you also learn how to control that at the same time.
Like, I know how to kill you, but I'm not.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know, the more that you learn, the more reservation that you have, the more patience that you have with people, because
100%.
you realize how much pain and harm you can unleash on others.
Yeah, 100%,
you know, so.
100%.
But yeah, no, that's real big. And I also wanted to get into some of these principles and some of these laws.
Yeah. Let's do it.
We often have conversations about, I think you were telling me about like the law of one or something like that, or you were telling me about like the law of love, just that's what I embody now. But there were some other laws that you were telling me, and it was really speaking to my spirit.
Yeah.
You were talking about how like what you put out there, it has to come back to you. And I was just putting out there because that's just me. That's my human.
Yeah.
And so kind of speak on some of those different laws that you adhere to, that you understand, these universal laws.
For sure. So, I mean, these universul laws, they really are everywhere. If you understand them, you see them show up everywhere. You see them show up in every religion, in most faith. You see them in philosophy and all of that. So, you know, let's just take one of them. It's called the law of giving and receiving.
Yeah.
It's easier kind of understood like this. In science has proven that all energy, like it just doesn't dissipate. It has to go somewhere. Right. And so in order for you to get something back, you have to put something out there to get back.
Right.
Like you can't get something for nothing. And so if you want to receive a lot, you have to give a lot. You have to put that energy out there for it to return to you. Right. And so that's the you know, in the Bible, they call that sowing and reaping.
Right.
It's the exact same thing. You sow to reap a harvest. You plant that seed, put your energy, time, work, love, care, that all equals energy into growing that seed. And because you put that energy in, it's a universal law. It has to come back to you.
Yeah.
It has to. You plant an apple tree and you put the energy in. I mean, if you plant an apple seed and you put the energy in, you're gonna get an apple tree.
You're gonna get a tree.
That's just how it goes, right? Now, like, you know, you don't have to go back, check the seed 50 million times. If you planted it you planted it right the first time, you covered the hole right the first time, you make sure you water it and give it the care that it needs. All you can do is what you can do,
man.
And you gotta let God do the rest.
So that's gonna take me into this next topic, because you said, and I'm gonna be vulgar.
Yeah.
These niggas want something for nothing.
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, I'm niggas.
Yeah, 100%.
I used to be.
Yeah, 100%.
But you know how I could tell that there was something different about you is because in fitness, that's the only way that you get something.
Yeah.
Is by putting in that time and the energy. And when we were young, I was swole. I was yoked. Minimal effort.
Yeah.
But as you get older, the effort has to increase. And it's like, you start to realize, like, you formed the habit of doing things, of actually putting energy out there, of actually working. And, you know, you reap the benefits of that. And so a lot of times I see that people want something for nothing. Mm-hmm. They want things to just manifest out of air. Like, I'm going to just manifest it. Mm-hmm. And it's cool to hold on to your ideas and manifest, but manifest also means go out there and get as close to your vision as you can.
100%. 100%. So, I mean, the truth of the matter is, and I'm going to be a little vulgar with you.
Yeah.
Niggas lazy.
Yep.
Niggas just don't want to work. It's just how it goes. People really don't want to work. You know what I mean? And I get it, right? There's a lot of information out there that's, you know, make money while you're sleeping, do this, drop ship here, and this program here. You can make it, and that's called marketing.
Yeah, they got you.
Yeah, before Foundations, I was a digital marketer. I had a digital marketing agency for 6 years.
Yeah, I
recognize marketing when I see one, and I'm telling you, I did the same thing, and it worked. So that's marketing. Like, if you think, I'll put it like this. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you found a secret that, if you know right now, if you walked out this room, you could clap 5 times, do 5 push-ups, 5 burpees, yell 6 times, and $3 million popped out the sky. And every time you did that, it would happen. Would you go around telling everybody so everybody else can do it with you?
I'm gonna give you 2 answers.
Yeah.
The original me, like when I first came into the space of unconditional love coaching, I'd be like, yeah. But the new me is based on, and this is still unconditional love, Jonesy, but everything that I have right now, even being in this building with the equipment, I did. No one else did. And so now there is something that, like, I won't even give my kids anything for nothing. I'm starting to realize, like, no games, no football games. You're not going to, I'm not going to put you behind the wheel of a car if you're not making grades. You're a danger to society. So now I have this relationship with work. Like, I can't help you get that. I could tell you, like, these are the steps that you take, but, like, I'm not giving you anything for free.
Exactly.
Like, never.
And most people won't either. So these people aren't, if this dude found a secret to make himself millions of dollars, y'all, like, let me just tell you, it's business. In business, it's 2 words, competitive advantage. I found one. Why would I go give it to 50 million people to go level the playing field? Come on, man. Let's use some, not even be astronomical. Let's use some common sense. I have a competitive advantage. I'm not about to go tell you how to beat me. I just one up. I'm not about to go tell you how to level the playing so we can all, let's make it fair. Nah, bro, I found a way to get this money. I found a back door. You don't know about it.
And I'm going to keep it.
And I'm going to keep it to myself because that's my competitive advantage. This is how, and that sounds cruel and selfish. This is how I feed my family. This is how I provide for those that I love. This is how I invest in businesses and things like that I can give back and spread what I do know in a meaningful way, right? Like, to me, telling people that's corny to me. That's not real. Like, that's
and it goes back to, because let's say I did have that secret, and I was telling everybody, that would make me solid. Solid ain't making you no money, dog. And I'm not saying, like, be a dirtbag. I'm saying be a good human being, but 100%. Like, whatever the world classifies as solid, that's not really solid. You know what I'm saying? That's a hoax.
It's like this. The real, right? We all talk about real. Real. That's a root word. It comes from realistic. You got to be realistic first. Right? You know what I mean? And you know, you have to look at know your own limitations, what you're good at, what you're not, and just be honest with yourself. You know what I mean? Really, really, really be honest with yourself and just realistic with yourself and say, hey, like, if you are doing things that aren't yielding results that you like, you got to be realistic and say, man, this might not be it. This might not be it, man. I got to try something different.
But, you know, even going back to what the analogy you gave in terms of, like, if you plant a seed, an apple seed, then, you know, and you put the energy and you water it and give it what it's supposed to, then you're going to grow an apple tree. Like, somebody who has a broke mentality be like, oh, well, it could be a storm and it could kill it. Or it could get drowned or it could get too dry or whatever. And it's like, but if you still follow those steps, eventually you're going to grow some apples.
Exactly. It's a formula. You know what I mean? It's a formula. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I gave the analogy earlier, like 1 + 1 = 2. And what we do. And when I say, you know, a lot of times I'm talking about just our community, man, because honestly, like, as a Black man, I just hate what we being fed. And to me, some people will call me a Uncle Tom and a sellout. But when I was out here being 100, which y'all quote unquote call 100, and my life was messed up. You know what I'm saying? My life was going down the drain, trying to prove myself, be real to everybody else. I'm like, man, I ain't about to keep messing my life up so y'all will like me. Like, if you don't like me, that's cool. Like, it is what it is. You don't have to, right? So with the formula, what we kind of, you know, what our community, just we don't have a lot of those, a lot of that information and those resources and that knowledge. It's just a lack of information.
It's a lack.
And so what we try to do is we try to change the number at the end of the formula, and you can erase it and put a 6 there, but it's still 1 + 1 in the front of it. And so that equals 2. I don't care what number you try to put there. It's always going to equal 2. So if you want more, you're going to have to play with the formula in front. And it's just, you know, for us in our community, we don't have that information, right? And like that's why I'm kind of like I'm real passionate about our community. And again, sometimes it may not seem that way, but it comes from that. I understand the the nuances of our culture, and just so I mean, I get it, you know what I mean? But at what point can you look at some Crash Dummy shit and be like, all right, man, this gotta change, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it just can't be like this.
Nah, man, that's 100, because that's the way that I viewed it. And it's like I took a crash course so fast in this past 2 years about like looking in the mirror at myself and like the behaviors that I have. And it's just like, once you see it, I still have empathy. Yeah. But I'm like, that is what it is. Yeah. And it's just kind of hard to like stay there. Yeah. So it's like you could be in that place making these wrong decisions as long as you want. I'm not gonna love you any less. Yeah. And I'm gonna move on. Yeah. And people are gonna look at me like, oh, that's crazy. He sold out. He did X, Y, and Z. Yeah. But no, I did what was right for me and what's right for my family. And what's right for you and your family is to not be dumb. Yeah, man. Be like, exactly. You gotta educate yourself. Yeah, educate yourself. Be better. Find you some real principles to adhere to. Yeah. Otherwise, you're just running in a circle. You're just spinning your wheels. Because it's crazy, man. It's like our community, we don't realize how resourceful we are. Yeah. I mean, you gave us scraps and we turned it into a feast. Yeah. You know what I mean? During slavery. That's why we eat chitlins and all that type of stuff, because that's what was left over. But you said we gonna give, from the scraps that you give us, we're gonna take that and we're gonna make meals out of it. We're gonna create community and Sunday dinners and you know what I mean? We're just so resourceful. You know what I mean? We're a people that can survive. And we've just been fed lies about ourselves for so long. We have a really low negative like view of ourselves. Yeah. And what a lot of people don't know is, it's what I always encourage people to read books about. Just go read books first and foremost. Like you don't have to, if it's something you don't know, trust me, somebody wrote about it already. Yeah. Go read about it, gain a little bit of information so you can understand the topic from a complete sense. And if you don't like what they're saying, understand it and come up with your own thing. Yeah. But so definitely read books on psychology, man. Read books on the mind. Understand why you do the things that you do. And one of the things that your brain works in images. That's why the Bible talks in parables. Yeah. Because your brain understands images and stories over anything else. Yeah. You can tell a story to illustrate a point, and your brain can break that story down and comprehend it easier than if you were trying to give some, step-by-step instructions. It can understand that story and connect with that story and those images in that story. And so you have a view of yourself. You see yourself in a specific way, and you cannot get past that view that you have of yourself. It's impossible. If you have a negative view of yourself, you're gonna live that out every single time, because that's all you can do. Every single day. Yes, that's all you can do. It's like, that saying they say, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Yeah. Why? It can't. Because they're the ones that programmed you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Two apples programmed you. Yeah. So you can only go as far as the apples that programmed you. And if you want to go further, you have to get new programming. Yeah. You gotta learn more. You gotta do more. You gotta be more. And that's really the internal battle. Yeah. Is your programming. 100%. We are born with programming 100%. And generally it's always wrong. Man, and that's that's when the Bible talks about the world, it's not the earth. Yeah. There's a difference between the earth, the planet Earth, and the world. The planet is one thing, the world is a system. Yeah. And we are born into a system that is designed to make certain people win, certain people lose, and it has nothing to do with color. It has everything to do with money and families. Yeah. There's select families that are going to benefit off of everything that humans do, and the rest of us are out here just trying to survive and make it. And when you kind of understand that you're born into a system like this, if I know I'm born into a system that's designed for me to lose, well, what's the only logical thing to do? Stop using the system. Stop using the system, yeah. And I 1000% agree with that, I mean, I'm kind of a part of the system now in terms of like, I want to be a business owner. So, I want to do, what I'm saying? Like, so I wouldn't say necessarily business is a part of this system. I think it's more so what I mean by system is, it's like, okay, all right, guys, get up. You're going to get up and you're going to go to this school, 0 to 12th grade. And then from there, you're going to go to college. And once you go to college, this piece of paper is going to tell you where you land and where you're supposed to be. Now, the interesting thing is, for a couple of decades, that worked well, right? But now
with the information of, right at your fingertips,
right?
And things being a lot quicker, you don't really have time to develop people the way that you used to. So you have these people who are still in that old way of system that just got all this debt to go out and, try to go be an adult now and get out into the world and become a functioning, human and have a family, have a job and all of that. But now you got this degree that you can't use because you can't. It's proven that most people don't even get a job in the thing that they went to school for. Right. So what you go to school for then? Because they told you had to.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean, that system. Now, nothing wrong with going to college.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with going to college if that's something that you want to do. But there are a lot of people that don't want to go, that feel like they have to go because that's just what they were told. And I'm just like, that's the system. What I mean by the system tells you what to think and how to be. And if you think anything outside of this system, then you're just completely rejected. And that's what I mean by system. The systems is a way of thinking and a way of taking specific actions, right? Like they tell you by this age you should have a house and kids and X amount of money in your bank account. That sounds cool if we all had the same playing field, if we all had the same starting point. But there are other people that come from lower than others and some that come from higher than others. So you can't grade this person down here and say that because he didn't make it here, he's less than, right? Like his climb is higher, right? So the system is it's just blanket. It doesn't. It's nothing but it's a certain set of principles, ideas, and beliefs.
So what I was thinking, and I'm about to expose myself, in terms of like the system. So now I understand that there are just different types of human beings. You have the sheep, the shepherd, and the wolf. And the wolf, they're also like high level thinking of understanding what this universe is, and their job is to go eat the sheep. You know what I'm saying, to do them bad. And 100%. Then you have the shepherd who is there to protect the flock. 100%. I would consider myself a shepherd, but I do view a lot of people, a big population as sheep because they are just led by whatever the big idea is. It's like, in psychology, there are such things as mass hysteria.
100%.
And so 100%. The simple fact that scientifically there is a thing of mass hysteria where if you get a group of people and they get heated and they all start foaming at the mouth and going to kill everything and destroy everything, that mob mentality, then that also works in terms of like corporations and businesses. And so it's like
100%.
I use that formula for myself, and that's what I say. I'm a part of the system because I want to go find my flock. Now nobody wants to be a sheep. But if you're not a sheep, come have a conversation with me and we'll talk like shepherds. Otherwise,
exactly.
Otherwise, come be a part of the flock and I'll take care of you. I'm going to give you good information.
For sure, for sure, 100%.
So I just don't have any ill will towards, the people who watch my content and get inspired. Hopefully I'm talking to shepherds. But
100%.
Sometimes I'm talking to sheep.
And I think there's seasons, right? I've definitely been, I was a sheep for a lot of my life.
Sure.
I
have to agree.
I was definitely a sheep for a lot of my life, and I just one day I'm just like, man, I want to try to be something else. I don't want to be a wolf because I'm not trying to take advantage of it.
Right.
And that's and in my younger years, I was a wolf. I was out here taking advantage of people and just doing all that. You know what I mean? And so it's just, I knew that wasn't the move. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, well, let me be the sheep. But now it's like, I'm cool. I'm cool if I'm not a sheep and I'm not a wolf and all that's left is the shepherd. I don't even really want to be the shepherd because God is the best one. But if that's all that's left for me to be, I'll jump in the line.
For sure. Well, we're going to hit a couple more topics, you know what I'm saying? And one topic I want to hit is about parenthood.
Okay.
Tell me about like your relationship with your parents growing up versus how do you view your relationship with your children now, and like what are the differences? Do you give any credit to your parents in terms of like, you know, what helped mold you be a dad, or is it just like, well, I ain't doing that?
Yeah,
because you know,
so that's no, well, I mean, so growing up, it was kind of interesting, right? Like, you know what I mean, didn't really. My relationship with my mom and dad is all right. I ain't finna just, you know, it was all right. I definitely say now it's, you know, the relationship that I have with my parents now is definitely something that's I value in a way that I knew I always wanted. You know what I mean? There was just a lot of hurt and pain there with my parents. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I was kind of angry at my parents, especially my pops. You know what I mean? Real angry at my pops. I'm TJ's, that stands for Thomas Jr. Yeah. So there's a senior out there, you know what I mean? And I mean, I love my pops, man, for real. Like, man, probably just, I mean, all I wanted was his approval when I mean, I just wanted him to be like, son, I'm proud of you. Yeah. And you know what I mean? That didn't really come, despite all of the accolades I had in sports, especially when I was young. And, you know, that's one of the reasons why I started getting in trouble, man. I was hurt, man. I was angry. Yeah. I was mad, bro. Like, because I've always been a person that you can't really, like, I'm my own man. I've always been my own man, never really been afraid to try something. So just because, you know, I'm black, you know, and I like rock music, or I might want to pick up a guitar or try skateboarding or just try something different, I'm being, you know, vilified in my neighborhood. It's just, you know, where I'm growing up. Yeah. And you look for that solace and safety in your parents. And when I didn't get it, made me angry. Yeah. And it took a kid who was just trying to explore and you know, just trying to understand, like, you know, why I like some of the things that I like. And it took that kid and it made him real angry. You know what I mean? And my parents definitely could have curbed some of that. And you know, and it didn't happen. So that's kind of, you know, we just kind of had a little, you know, it was an interesting relationship growing up. But now, I mean, like I said, especially just over the last, especially few months, man, I've had conversations with my parents that are just like, man, okay, this is why I am the way that I am. I got this from you, and I got this, you know, I got that from you. And so I knew when I had kids, you know, I said, well, I'm never gonna, you know what I mean? And then I grew up, had kids, and did exactly the things that I said. And for the longest time, I'm like, dude, how can I go back and do the things that I said I wouldn't do? Like, why is that happening? And I realized the answer to that question came a couple months ago. It's hard. It's hard because of focus. One of the things that got me was focus. You tend to get what you know, what if you get what you focus on. Your energy, like what you're focusing on, you naturally put energy into. So because you're putting energy into it, a result can only come back. Right. Well, I got what my focus was, which was Thomas Gipson. It wasn't. So in my mind, I'm trying not to be like Thomas Gipson, but my focus is Thomas Gipson. Right. Not being like Thomas Gipson, not being the best Thomas Gipson Jr. I could be. I was just trying to not be like Thomas Gipson Senior. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it was you know, my focus was off, and again, it's not like my pops is some, you know, whatever. I was angry with him at the time. You know what I mean? I kind of felt that. So I didn't really respect him. You know what I mean? I didn't really want to be like him. But again, I grew up and became like him because that was my focus. It wasn't on being the best me. It was on, you know, it was more so just, like I said, on to him. And when I realized that, I realized, man, okay, what type of parent really do I want to be? What do I believe about parenting? Yeah. And when I start to ask myself those questions, man, my relationship with my kids just started to blossom on its own. Man, I love that. I mean? Yeah. So it's like, I got a great relationship with my kids, bro. Like, my kids are my everything. Yeah. I love my kids, bro. Man, I love to hear that. So, you know, one question that I do have is, have you ever had a conversation with your pops about, like, how he grew up or the things that he's experienced from his parents? Yeah, I did. And it actually made me soften. Did it make sense? Yeah. 100%. That's 100%. The crazy thing. Yeah, like, man. As kids, we're a little, and this is what I just found out about my kids. Yeah. My kids don't care about me. Like, they love me, but they're selfish and they get catered to. Yeah. 100%. So when you live a life of catering, they're not thinking, like, my kids don't be like, Dad, I want to do something for you. Yeah. Never. Yeah. Because I've spoiled them. Yeah. And so what I realized is that all of our parents try to spoil us a little bit, you know, unless some parents are different. Some parents are. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I didn't really get that. Well, I mean, not to, you know, put a light on my family, but I got a whooping every day of my life until I was about
12 or 13.
Yeah.
And then it spread out until like my last whooping, it was like 15.
Yeah.
And it was one of them ones where like you got hit and the belt just hit you. And I was like, you know what I'm saying? You get to shaking like,
yeah.
You know, and she was like, yeah, I'm doing too much.
Yeah,
like that's the last one. I graduated. So, but
funny.
you know, I was in the 9th grade. She was probably thinking like, I probably shouldn't hit him no more.
Yeah,
he getting older.
He getting older.
He might snap one day.
See, that's what, man, I was kind of one of my pops. Like, yeah, man. Yeah, I remember in high school a couple times, it almost came down to it. I'm like, you can swing it if you want to.
Yeah.
But these finna come right behind that if you do that, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You ain't about to hit me no more.
Yeah, like, bro, you ain't finna hit me with all that. Yeah.
No, that was the thing is like a lot of times as children, we don't really ask about our parents' lives before children.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there was some wild boys out there.
Yeah.
My dad told me that him and his brother were driving home from somewhere drinking or something like that, and it was a tornado. And they got sucked into the tornado and shot out into a field somewhere. Swear to God, I'm like, y'all didn't die? And it was just like, how did I even know? How did I even have this story? Like, they never would have told me unless I said, hey, Dad, tell me about your life. What are some crazy things that you did? Sure. And so as parents or as children, you got to be more interested in your parents' lives. But
I mean,
think that's dope.
That even, not to cut you off, not like even with that too, you know, like, my pops, he has 11 brothers and sisters.
Wow.
Yeah. So
what?
Man, I got 12 aunts and uncles, and they, you know, they from Houston. They from the gutter, bro. My people.
Time out. I'm just now hearing this for the first time in all 15 years of our relationship. Good God.
Yeah, bro.
That's a lot of cousins,
man.
Bro,
man, my family huge, bro. And like I said, they from Houston, so our family from the bottom, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And so my dad's pops died when he was young. And his mom died I think when he was like 6 or something like that. And his dad died when he was like, I want to say 10.
Dang.
So he lost both of his parents by the time he was 11 years old. And the only reason why he survived because he had so many siblings.
Yeah.
And so they raised him. And so it's like, well, okay then. You from the hood, and not only I ain't talking about like just any hood, bro. You from the hood in Houston, bro.
Yeah.
You from the bottom.
Where it's like a third world country. Like this is a different type of hood.
It's like, you know what I mean, my pop, you know what I mean,
like
my
poor.
people, my people, you know what I mean. My people from the bottom. So it's like, okay, I can't really fault you for being the way. Like no one showed you how to be a man. So how do you know?
Yeah, but let's give a little shine because I don't know where your pops are standing right now, but I thought it was a pretty nice house.
Oh yeah, man. My pops, shout out, man. What's up, pops?
Because you got to think like,
I see you, baby.
After everything that he done went through, he was able to provide a house for y'all, 100%. And what he came from is just so different. So I got to shout out, give credit where credit is due.
Like I said, man, he kept me. My pops cared enough.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you know,
he
kept me. I dodged prison because of my pops. You know what I mean? I definitely was a jailbird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My older brother went to prison quite frequently. And there are times, you know, I should have went.
He looked out.
My pops looked out, so I can't even knock him, man. And still to this day, man, he's the one man. He don't even know this.
Yeah.
He's the one man that if my pops told me he loved me, he could break me down just like that. Bro.
Just make you start crying.
He instantly. Bro. He the one man. He don't even know that.
Yeah.
But my pops, I mean, he a hard man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's no slouch, and that's one reason I am the way that I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not soft. I'm not weak. I ain't never been a cur. Anybody know what a cur is? It's a dog that won't fight, right?
Yeah.
2 dogs that are fighting each other.
Oh, okay.
Fighting dogs. There's a dog that won't fight. Yeah. It's called a cur.
Yeah.
And I've never been that, you know what I mean? And so, and part of that is because I saw that that's how my pops was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He kind of instilled some of that in me. So appreciate that, Pops. That's something I actually like about myself.
Man, I love that, man, for real. And I guess, you know what I'm saying, the final topic that we're gonna touch on is what do you say? Because you've dealt with a lot of, you know what I'm saying, backlash at your life. You know, it's a lot of people that point the finger at you and like to talk about you.
Yeah.
And I was on my way here today, I was just thinking about stuff to talk about. And I was like, I was listening to that song. You said, what's the name of the song?
Polyphia. It's called Fuck Around and Find Out.
Fuck Around and Find Out. And I was listening to that song, getting ready for the show. And I got to thinking about all the smear campaigns that have come your way and things like that. And it's like, if you got the time to talk about somebody, you're not really reflecting on your life and you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, 100%.
And so what's your take on that? You know what I'm saying? All the haters and stuff like that.
Man, well, number one, it's like, it's crazy I'm saying this now, but number one, like, when you first look at me, right? Like, I look like I'm 12.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I look hella young. And I've just lived like a real interesting life. I just had like a lot of stuff happen to me, and I've always been I've never been afraid to try something and be my own man. And so, you know, that kind of like rubs people the wrong way when you don't fit into a box.
Right.
Like, it's just, you're supposed to go somewhere. And I've never been interested in going anywhere but where I wanted to go. And so, number one, I don't even fault people for that, because it's just, you know what I mean? That's kind of tough. Number two, I also can be, you know, high energy and real energetic, and sometimes that can come across as obnoxious or being overbearing. And so that can rub people the wrong way. And you know, I get that as well. So I don't fault them for that. Number three, man, you know, at my times of struggle and times of trying to survive, man, I don't think people really know. I mean, I've been I've been homeless. You know what I mean? I've literally been homeless, you know what I mean, for months and months at a time. Didn't know where my next meal was gonna come from, didn't know where I was gonna sleep every day. And so you gotta learn how to survive, man. And sometimes you do things that you're not quite so proud of, and you hurt people, and you say things, and you tell lies, and you try to get people to, you know what I mean? So I've hurt people in the process, which is my biggest regret in life. Is that I have been in situations where I've been so low that I did anything I could just to survive, just to be here. Yeah. And I've hurt people in the process. And for anybody that I have hurt, if you are watching this, man, this is something that I really truly am sorry, man. It wasn't personal, man. I was a much different person then, much different headspace back then. And if you came and talked to me now, you would definitely get a much different individual, somebody who has learned. And I've been, you know, when people hear me talk, I talk from experience. I'm not talking from somebody who doesn't know. You know what I mean? I've been at the bottom. I've been shot at. Yeah. I've been robbed. I've shot at people. I've robbed. Yeah. I've hurt people. I've been hurt. You know what I mean? I've lived a life that's two big extremes. And so I get it. I understand. You know what I mean? I get it. I get it. So, but man, I try not to take it too personal now, because I know people don't, you know, if people love me now, you know what I mean? And so I don't, you know, not everybody's gonna like you, but on the whole, I definitely try to be way more understanding and all of that. So I try not to take it too personal. It is something that at times it could be anger, you know what I mean? Especially, you know, from the looks of it, it's like, this nigga's a square. Like, I'm finna run down on him. And that's something that many of people had thought.
Yeah, and made a mistake.
And then fucked around and found out, like, shit.
It's a grave mistake.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, damn, I done fucked up. Yeah. This nigga done beat the dog shit out my ass. Like, you know what I mean? I'm really from that. It's really like that with me, you know what I mean? So, so there's, you know, there could still be that anger there sometime, but for the most part, man, I think a big sign of maturity is just understand that not everybody has the same understanding that you have. And so when you try to, the Bible says above all things, you know, get understanding. And so when it's understanding you're seeking, the number one thing you realize, not everybody's going to understand the way that you might understand. Right. So who likes to be told something that they disagree with, or that they can identify with, or this and that. And so that creates resistance and all that type of stuff. That creates anger, division, strife. So, I mean, I just try to, you know, be that man of understanding and realize that, man, it's just, man, such is life. But I've done too much out here, and by the grace of God, I'm still here. Yeah. And I don't intend to like spend my time getting caught up in the weeds about negativity, because I've done that. Right. And I made it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I feel like the luckiest dude in the world. Like, I just got engaged.
Yes, congratulations.
My fiance is is a former a former pro softball player, man. Which in the beginning to me, I'm like, man, fuck watching softball. You know what I mean? It can't really be like a real big deal, but
come to find out.
Yeah, come to find out. That's
fuck around and find out. It is a big deal.
It's a huge deal. So to have somebody of like that who does have so much going for themselves.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we ain't talking about just, this, my fiance has definitely done some things, man. You know what I mean? Lauren Chamberlain, that's her name. What up, baby? I love you. You know what I'm saying? Can't wait till February 3rd. That's the day we're getting married. So, I'm just, like I said, engaged now to a wonderful woman who could have her pick of the top. You know what I mean? She is that, right?
So it must be some goodness.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So she saw something, she sees things in me that I saw myself, that I kind of saw myself, but when she really said, no, this is, I can give you a chance. It kind of, let me know about how much work I put in and all the work I've done to get to where I'm at. You know what I mean? Just over time, to all the crying, the praying, the tears, the sweat, the blood, the grind, the hustle, like all of that. You know what I mean? She kind of helped came and validate that and gave me a chance there. So, I got that, foundations is definitely growing.
Yeah.
Clients are coming out of the woodworks, and, I've been fortunate enough to work with some really influential people. There's a guy named Chef Andrew Black.
I had the chance to go to that Gray Sweater.
Yeah, Gray Sweater. Yeah.
I was not disappointed. I wish I would have seen Chef Andrew there, but it was an amazing experience.
Yeah. So, people like him, he just got the James Beard Award for the best chef in the Southwest. So that's the biggest. That's a huge accomplishment. People like JB, what up, homie? You know what I'm saying?
He out here doing some good things in the community.
What I mean? So it's just like, I've been blessed to be, have some amazing clients, to have a lot of success in what I'm doing. So, and I just feel like I'm already the richest man in the world. You know what I mean? And like, I don't want to spoil that with the opinions of
validating
others,
other people's opinions.
The opinions of others. And like I said, like, I also know too, a lot of people's criticisms of me, they're old. Because people don't, people they don't know me now.
They don't know you.
They don't. A lot of people that criticize me don't know me personally, and if they did, I'd probably validate some of the things they were saying. I told Lauren that, hey, because I've been a womanizer out here, you know what I mean, and that's something that I'm not proud of. I'm very ashamed of that.
Yeah.
Like, that's another big regret that I have. But I told her, I said, hey, if you hear something about me, when it comes to these women, probably true. I've probably done it.
Yeah.
But I promise you, you give me a chance, I won't make a liar out of you.
Yeah.
And she said, okay. And I've held true. And she's my rock, man. She's the reason why I'm still kicking today. You know what I mean? She's definitely, I'm a survivor, so I'm always do well.
Yeah.
But one thing I'll say is that when you find somebody who truly loves you and supports you and cares for you, it unlocks things within yourself you didn't know that you had.
I believe that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And when you find that real thing, when somebody just wants to see you succeed and they care, like, that's a different level of intimacy that I've never really had. That when somebody's truly for you, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, man, I just try to ignore the haters, because I mean, you wouldn't hate on me if I was whack.
Yeah. You said you would hate on me if I was whack.
If I was lame and wasn't doing anything and just
you gotta have something to hate on.
Gotta have something to hate on for me to be hated on. So really, man, to hate on people, you gotta like what you see first.
You gotta like what you see first.
A little bit. So,
I'm gonna hold on to that. And honestly, there are a couple things that you said that I just need to, first of all, we need to have a walk.
Because
we're gonna have it.
Let's do it. I'm with it.
You said there's some things that you regret.
Yeah.
And we all regret doing things that we don't agree with now, but it's like, you know, I want to make sure you forgive yourself.
Yeah.
And you've already apologized. Move on.
Yeah. 100%.
Hey,
100%.
Forgive yourself. That's that's in the past.
Water under the bridge.
Hey, I'm out here living a different life now, baby.
100%. And that's, you know, I mean, like I said, that's how I feel, man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm out, you know, I'm, you know, getting married, and you know, my fiance has that adventurous spirit like I have. And I mean, like I said, it's a little bit different, man, being with somebody with a name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know, oh my God, Lord, can you take that picture?
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Nigga think, hell no, we think I'm a bodyguard. Bro, she take that picture. Who you think I am?
I mean, you kind of yoked up, like,
you know, that be acting like I'm her security or something.
That's
like,
hilarious.
Wait a minute now, but yeah, nah, man, it's you know, she has that same adventurous spirit that I have. So I've taken just more trips in the past year than I have literally in my entire life.
Man, I like to see that on you too.
Yeah, man.
I like to see that for y'all.
And I'm living, man. I'm living. I'm loving life. I don't, you know what I mean? I can honestly say that I don't really have any ill will towards anyone.
Yeah.
I still got a problem with people who do messed up things to people.
Yeah.
And that, you know, I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect with that, especially if it's blatant and unwarranted. But I mean, we all people out here just trying to make it to the best. Trying to make it to the best of our ability, man. So,
well, man, I 1000% appreciate you coming out 100%. Here and blessing the podcast. It was a lot of gems dropped. When I go back to edit this, I can't wait. There's gonna be some. You're gonna have yourself front and center on the soundbite, and it's gonna go up. You know what I'm saying? But you're welcome to, you know, be a guest on the show anytime. Man, anytime you try to talk about something new coming out, like please. Let's set it up, because it was a complete pleasure to have you here, bro.
Definitely, man. Definitely want to thank you for having me, bro. Yeah. Like I said, it's dope to see your transformation and see how far you've come. And it's only really up from here, man. It's only really up from here. So it's like, let's get it, baby.
Hey, man, the bald-headed hoe shit commences.
Let's do it.
The longer my hair gets, the more bald-headed hoe shit. Like, that's what they don't understand. But that just means I'm really loving myself, and I'm loving the places that I'm going, and I'm never going to stop being me. I'm going to continue to push love in psychedelics. And so, this is episode 2. Y'all will get it when you get it. We out.
She on my phone again, cussing me out again, telling me that her best friend saw me out again. Oh, hating ass. How can you sweat me? You know how you met me. All of that bullshit you want don't affect me. Don't say some shit you gon' end up regretting. I got some hoes that's gon' slide for me, baby. Thought it was different, you lied to me, baby. All you wanna do is get live with me lately. Got your hand all in my face like Shanae. Grip your ass up, girl, you know I don't play that. Girl, you know that homie don't play that. Lately, all you do is lie to me, baby. All I wanna do is drive my Mercedes. Got me feeling like I'm driving Miss Daisy. Driving me crazy, girl, you driving me crazy. Thought of me having my baby, to not having my baby. Lately you trying my patience. All of the love we not making. Lost in the streets, money making.